Aside from being a Nazi, Elon Musk is emotionally unstable and incredibly immature. I mean, the dumbest person that has ascended to such on paper success that I have ever seen, and the mistake that so many Americans make because we worship capitalism and wealth so much, is if somebody's wealthy, they must be a genius. And the more I see of Elon Musk, the dumber I think he is. Put up this tweet here. He is mad, mad, mad at Tim Walz. Tim Walz puts on Twitter, if you need a little boost during the day, check out Tesla stock. Friendly fire, friendly troll. Politics is a blood sport. Don't get into it if you have super thin skin. So Elon Musk responds, sometimes when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House and thank the Lord. And I just want to note, for the permanent record, J.D. Vance's portrait is the most yassified Photoshop thing I've ever seen in my life. He has, so much eyeliner. And you guys, I'm telling you, I think we're a news cycle or two away from the full-blown smoky eye. J.D. Vance is a complete Nazi. He went away to Peter Thiel's gay camp. And before he went, he was a never Trump guy, and he was a disheveled looking mess.
Pro-immigration.
Comes out of it the biggest sociopath man I've ever seen, wearing full eyeliner. And the eyeliner is so consistent. It's been rumored online, and sometimes people do this, that it's even tattooed on.
I wonder if his portrait says sponsored by Sephora. I mean, like, he is just a failed drag queen that it's just waiting to pop.
Next up, we have Elon Musk again. He's always a cheater. He can't ever win anything on his own. He always has to game the system. In order to be a billionaire, he had to get government subsidies. He doesn't have an original idea. He is a con man to his core. And now his PAC is offering $100 to Wisconsin voters in the pitch against activist judges. Try to go win on your ideas.
Right.
Try to go win the good way. He can't do it. What did he do the minute Donald Trump won? Because they made a blood pact. I'm going to keep you out of prison. You keep me out of prison. The reason that the Doge crackheads went at such a rapid speed into the United States government was to stop the investigations into Elon Musk, because he was up to no good. He is a smoke and mirrors billionaire. Yes, he's a billionaire, but this man behind it is a sociopath, a Nazi, not that bright, and a total con man, and his products suck.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He's a lot less of a billionaire than he was when the Trump administration came in.
Yeah, but we need to work harder.
We can do better.
We can do better. We've got to do better. And speaking of that, put up this next slide. People are trading in their swastikars into, quote, Donald Trump, the likes of which the world has never seen. Tesla owners are trading in their EVs at record levels, Edmunds says. So this is kind of funny. Pumps and I pulled up to the studio yesterday, and next to our studio is a spa. And this gal pulls up, cute, like probably 30-ish, and she pulls up in a red Tesla. And she's like, oh my God, I've had it, ladies. Hi. And we were like, hi. And she was like, I bought this car before. I hate it. I'm going to get rid of it. Like, she totally had to cover for herself. Like, I had this EV way before this guy was a Nazi. I'm trying to get rid of it. And that's what all Americans are trying to do right now, unless they're sociopath dipshits as well. But basically, his brand is dead in Europe, because
Yes.
Europeans they have a visceral reaction to fascism. I mean, like, it really hits them when people are fascist. Americans, some of us do, that have studied history, that paid attention in, history class. Some of these MAGA supporters, I think, they want Donald Trump to be a dictator.
Yes, because in America, history is so cherry-picked, and what they learn and the ability to just completely divest yourself of reality and facts like you can in the right-wing media echo chamber, they don't realize what they're doing because they don't have any intellectual curiosity. Why was Hitler bad? I mean, you hear like Tucker Carlson being like, well, I don't know if Hitler, it's just like, shut up.
You know what they're doing is they're prepping the base. That's what's so scary about Tucker Carlson's propaganda, because he's starting to, something that was never argued, on the right or the left in America, was that Hitler was bad. That was universally accepted. And now they're starting to, get the soil ready for them. Is Europe better off? Would it have been better if Germany would have won? And they start sowing these seeds of doubt. And this is what fascists do. And this is, Fox News has primed this country, primed them for this. And then again, when Fox News isn't enough of a hit, then they go to the harder drugs, which is like Tucker Carlson, who we all know is on Vladimir Putin's payroll, allegedly. Imagine how dangerous a statement that is. I mean, Hitler, it's genocide of over 6 million people. And universally, we all need to agree that that's bad. And they're trying to even whitewash that because they're so desperate for Donald Trump to be a dictator. And they're so desperate to be cruel to immigrants.
Well, and not to mention, we're both old enough to remember when Russia was the axis of evil, when a murderous dictator was unattractive and should be stayed off. And now we've got Trump sitting in his lap braiding his hair.
Yeah, you used to hear these national security Republicans go on and on about Putin, how dangerous he is. But Putin, we've talked about this a lot. He has played a long game, and we are at war right now with Russia, and it is psychological warfare. And in that war, you have Fox News, you have the right-wing manosphere, and you have Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin entered the United States through the NRA and religious groups. And his goal was to get Americans mad at each other. Well, what did Trump campaign on? The enemy from within.
Right.
Think about that. In a democracy, the enemy from within, which those of us that are big thinkers know the enemy from within is him. He's the fascist. He's the deep state. I have a friend who works at the Federal Marshal's Department, liberal guy. And during the campaign, he would talk to his other federal marshals, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm just worried about the deep state. So I'm going to vote for Trump. And my friend would be like, dude, you are the deep state.
Right.
You work for the government. You're in it. When they say that, they're talking about people like us. And it just flies right past them. The majority of the people that work for the American government are just normal people, and that's the job that they have. All right, moving along. We have, this is unbelievable. Musk set up to get access to top secret U.S. plan for potential war with China. Trump goes on Truth Lie, either last night or this morning, and says this is false, which tells me it's 100% true.
That's
whenever
exactly
he has to do that. And I remember hearing Steve Bannon in clips. I don't listen to his show. Nobody get psycho, but I do have to devour the news so we know what the hell we're talking about on this podcast. And I remember Steve Bannon talking about Elon Musk being compromised by China. And I don't know all the details of that, but I do think this is pretty interesting. Also, why is somebody who's not elected to anything, who everybody hates, like everybody universally hates Elon Musk, except for maybe like 20% of the bro manosphere podcasters. And how is he walking over to DOD, getting all this classified stuff? Oh, I forgot. Because in MAGA, you store your classified shit next to your gold toilet.
Right.
And it's just a free for all. This is just insanity.
It's insanity, specifically because Elon Musk has financial interests in China. He's got a big network over there.
And it's his biggest competitor, right?
Right. And here's the deal, you guys. He is in bed with Putin. He said during the campaign, it came out, he talks to Putin.
Right.
So he is now... Putin might as well be in a security briefing on a potential war with China, or Xi himself.
Well, and how about this? So I read that, and this makes sense to me, that they push these tariffs so that the oligarchs in America can have less competition. So the biggest competitor to like artificial intelligence, to Meta, to Tesla, comes out of China. And so that kind of made sense to me. And then this whole narrative that we're going to do all these business dealings with Russia, which isn't, like a free market. Everybody hates Russia. Its brand is tanked. So it's just very obvious to me that you have the world's nefarious players, all of the axis of evil connecting together. And the United States used to stand for democracy. And I'm not saying we were perfect, but I could go to sleep at night and think, okay, we are working towards something. We elected Barack Obama. We legalized gay marriage. We're going to keep pounding, Congress to raise the minimum wage. Let's try to get health care for everybody. At least there was an open conversation about those things. But now I feel like that's all over with. During the campaign, a lot of you that have followed us for a long time know that a dear employee of ours named Javi was shot in October. A Black kid worked for us 40 hours a week, was like a son to us. I mean, this kid had worked for me since he was 18 years old. He dies of gun violence. And in my mind, I thought, as you grieve and you're trying to reconcile this and you're trying to make sense of it, I thought, okay, Kamala is going to win. And then I'm going to go all chips in on, gun violence prevention, and this is going to be my life's work beyond doing this podcast. And when you have fascists that come into play, you can't fight for abortion rights anymore. You can't fight for trying to reduce gun violence. You can't fight for any of that anymore, because we have to sit around and fight for freedom and democracy, which the rate that they have destroyed it, 60 days, and they're like thumbing their nose at federal judges trying to impeach them, and they're getting death threats from all of the rabid, deplorable MAGA base. It's overwhelming, Pumps.
It is overwhelming. And what is just unbelievable to me is these people that sit around and we love Jesus and da-da-da-da. They are the same people that are going on Instagram, keyboard courage, saying the meanest, ugliest things. I've got money. All of the ones that are threatening to kill people, these judges, probably the first ones at their church. I mean, it's so gross, the hypocrisy. And the Elon Musk thing, it's like, if you can't see it, then something is wrong with you, because it is obvious as the nose on my face. He is running Trump. He's in bed with Putin. Putin is now leading the United States by and large through Elon Musk.
One little thing, and we'll dive into this in another podcast, but you guys comment on this below. A friend of ours sent me a text and said, what if Trump is using Musk to go out and destroy all this stuff, and then he's going to fire him and say, Musk did all that, but I got rid of him. But it worked to Trump's advantage, because then he's able to blame, like he does everything, blame it on somebody else. It's possible. I mean, I don't think so, but we'll talk about it in another podcast. We've run out of time. Please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you all later.